how's it going, folks? Now, I'm just testing the microphone. I don't know the microphone is on the phone or my earpods, so I'm just going to hook up on my earpods. So, alright. So, this topic that I've been briefly discussed about, thought about it, but I never truly deeply analysed it properly. But I just want to get the idea out. Now, I'm pretty sure all you guys heard of the term of good time for a weak man and then bad time for a strong man. Now, that is the context of 2020, 20 years, right? So, and that's how it goes. But I don't want to look in that stage. I want to look in a micro, individual level. And especially in the Western world where it's majority of the Western world is pretty like safest and it's a welfare state and it's brilliant human rights, right? And it creates too comfortable to many generations, right? It is what it is, and it gets weakened and weakened because they don't never see hardship like the first immigrant or refugee, skilled migrant who came from a foreign land, who come to the Western world and taste the forbidden fruit. Whether they hustle hard, bring back whatever they have back to the country to convert it back in a good conversion rate. Now you have that as well. And as I'm speaking, like Western world needs the continuity of the multiculturalism and the wave of migrants, how important it is. Because generation after generation, it gets weakened and weakened. It's either you get dysfunctional and it's getting weakened, especially with today's society as the university and kids are learning the PC culture and how it weakens. Now I understand the PC culture is the goal is to destroy any of the tribalism. That is the part of the human, and no question that has to debate on. Alright, so that's that part that I'm not going to discuss about, but I would like to discuss more about like the continuity of the migrant, how the hunger and the struggles that they have to go through. When they go through the struggles and they get beaten down and they hit back again, back it up again, taking risky stuff like opening a business or taking on buying the Australia dream, America dream. Like the drive is very strong. Getting the luxurious or getting a better lifestyle, or getting a big mansion house or whatever it is. As what I'm witnessing now, and I speak to many of my co-workers who are newly arrived migrant, come to the country, making their money, doesn't care about the risk, because what they say is, I came to this country with nothing, I'm not afraid to risk everything. That's the analogy of many of the migrants, newly arrived migrants. So basically, they'll take any risk to feel that lifestyle, Oh, I just went on the red light, my bad. So when you have like that, it creates a very driving generation when you have like that. And when you have the generation like that, it drives forward and it makes everything and very forward, that is not dysfunctional thinking. And where now it has become many of the dysfunctional those are newly arrived migrants, they are very strong family bonds. They bring in their extended family members to the country and have the same opportunity that they don't have back in the country, and taking their chance and observe, integrate, or stimulate hustle mentality, right? Where now, what I get to witness, I work in the care industry and the hospitality. Now, when I work in the hospitality, many of my co-workers are either in university or Australia born, or perhaps those who are international. And I could see that both of them, the work style, the workmanship, the work ethics, I could see very different. The ones from international workers who are striving, who are hustlers, man. Mentality. But the Australian born, the one who lives in Australia for many generations, you can see the lack of it. And this is why I said, like, many of those who stayed in Australia for that long and tasted the forbidden lifestyle, they never seen struggle, they never seen hardship, and it has gone wicked. And there's no shame getting on a dole or a welfare state, right? So you have that analogy as well. Now I know this video I'm blabbing on is way more than 5 minutes, but I believe that this topic is very important to raise, to know the fact that tough time creates strong men or strong individuals, and especially those who are coming from a third world country who seek, who experience war torn, or there is not much opportunity for them based on maybe the name or religion or the access of education. So, but they're hustlers. They're coming from a country where they do mistakes often, they'll get their job sacked. Not like in the Western world, there's working rights. People can call in sick, whatever they want, and doing half the job. So that lazy mentality of workmanship, and that sort of workmanship would never drive, especially a country. Now I'm looking at it as a country, as an individual, and now a country. Now if you look at the management level, they do not dare to sack workers unless they have proof or legitimate excuse to demonstrate that it's obeyed by the working rights. Now I did sack one of the workers when I was a manager, and it was a lot of hurdles. I'll be honest with you, when I was working that role, there was a lot of workers that, in my opinion, in my sight, they would have been sacked a long time ago. But in Australian law, it doesn't work like that. So the workman has dumped down. Everyone is either doing the bare minimum and making the big money, and many of the employers, they go through the probation period for staffing, and after the probation period, staffing can lay loose, and employers are scratching their head and saying now they're adopting the lazy workmanship lifestyle. Management in Australia, it's not what management is supposed to be, and it's very hard to maintain workers to be in that sort of way, where you cannot physically sack them on the spot or give them warning. So unless you have to go through hurdles after hurdles after hurdles, then you give them a warning. Hurdles after hurdles after hurdles, then you give them a sack. So that's why I said this sort of lenient rules that is creating this functionality where everyone is, when people say Australia is a technological society, which I don't think so. There's nothing much in this country. Everyone's just doing the same job, everyone's doing the lazy behavior, they get away, they make money, and that's it. Unlike thriving countries, third world countries, especially like China, or very, very competitive, they outcompete each other to take the top position, and if you're falling behind, then you go through it again. Now obviously, every industry has varies depending how it goes. If you have a high KPI, it is what it is. But those companies that doesn't have a high KPI, it's a different story. So that's why I said this whole, good time create, weak man, and then a bad time create strong man. It is true to see the sense, but in the Western world, I can see this ongoing continuity on this sort of lazy workmanship that is not thriving, it's not innovative, or did you even say innovative country? I don't think it's an innovative country. To see that, and this continuity is just going to go rapidly down, and that's why you see big fish like China is driving with the Belt and Road Initiative, and as well private countries out there building cheap infrastructure or good many of the Western world are heavy, rely on their taxes on the welfare state. I'm not saying welfare state is bad. I'm just saying that it just creates weaker society. And obviously we have the election, and Labour have won, so it's just going to pour money and that sort of industry. And if nobody vote for Labour, that's when your wages will decrease or get defund or slashing prices. And it has become that notion on that power structure that we vote for. And I'm not saying that I'm a hypocrite, that I'm not one of them. I am one of them, but that's how the society, democracy has worked. And